talked about, but guys, look at that. Pulled back up again. It's really quite a strong day for Boeing today. Look at the daily candle. You look at a daily chart here. I mean, it's got a lot more movement than it normally does. We talked about, but guys, look at that. Pulled back up again. It's really quite a strong day. I'm going to mute Benzinga, guys. So if you guys are listening to Benzinga, I will not be listening to him. So apologies.
Okay, so back to Roku. It does look like it's trying to hold this 104 level. And it is right at the trend line right now. So it's been weak it's had a pretty significant sell-off. But potential, it could break trend here.
What have I done? I've broken it. Broken the room. There we go. Confused the room.
So I took a small share size Roku 104.30.
Oh yeah, long, I presume.
Yeah, long. Well, I'm just gonna see. I've got a very tight stop on it. Anything getting close to 104, and I'm gonna be bailing on it. It's coming up now. Square is right near the high of the day. See if we can get up to 105 on Roku here. Boy. I don't know what happened to ENPH. Had a nice swing trade on that. Got some profits at 60 and then stopped me out back where I got in. 58 on the rest. And it's been it's been horrible all day.
Indeed. All right, so you're trading Roku here. We got Roku going on. And hello to everybody out in YouTube land. Welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate that you joining us here. Also appreciate if you give us a like. That always helps. A little thumbs up. Little thumbs up's always good for everybody. Gotta figure out what side my microphone is. My camera's always reversed. I always get that. Obviously, I'm not a skilled TV broadcaster. Mama always said I've got the face for radio.
So I'm not seeing anything on the level 2 that's going to take us up to 105.
Yeah, there's not really a lot showing level 2 either way. There's the biggest order I've got is 104.02. Got about 30,000 shares sitting there. That's not where you want it to be for a long.
Yeah.
Oh, MU.
I will stop out now at break even, which is the 104.30 level. If we go back down there, 104. Yeah.
Hopefully it holds here for you, Brian.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We'll see. Small number of shares. Only have 300 shares here, so.
I should have taken MU short again. I had a short on MU. You guys can see it. It's up here on my screen. I gotta take that off. Anyways, I had a short earlier in MU and got stopped out, but then it put another double top. I could have shorted at almost the exact same spot, ridden it down again. I was busy not paying attention. which is unfortunate. Oh, what did I just do?
Come on, Roku, don't do this. Don't pull back on me.
Yeah, Roku's hitting your break even.
Problem is, yeah, I know. Problem is that the trend is on Roku has been down all day. So at this point, it's hard to say whether it'll turn around here. What do we got? 25 minutes left in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm stopping out of it.
Still holding WMG, hoping to get up over 31. We'll see if that happens.
That was disappointing. Looked promising. Looked like it was going to go.
MU. Oh, could have taken another short on it. Oh well. The cruise lines did pop back up. I thought they were looking short, but they jumped back up here. So good thing that wasn't taking any trades on them. Look at the airlines today, though. All of them up. It's significant, 6 to 13%, depending which ones you're looking at.
It may hold here. We'll see.
What do we got? CLDR.
On Roku.
CLDR has got earnings after the close. See what they do. May not be a lot of movement. What else we got? Fossil. That's about it. Mogo Finance. Don't even know what they are. Yeah, CLDR and Fossil are the only two that I would look for. Why is there no time on Fossil? I don't have a time here for the numbers release.
SPY is continuing to push.
I will take the opportunity to mention that we have a we've been talking about Thor's new theory. I don't know, Brian, if you've been
He has a theory
around where we've been playing with his theory about what we call the tinfoil line. We've got a new logo for it here for the
okay.
Celebrate the tinfoil line.
My theory.
But it's actually been working quite well. If you look at the 8 a.m. candle and sort of draw lines across the top and low of that 8 a.m. candle, which is sort of a market settlement candle for a lot of stocks, it tends to provide support or resistance levels throughout the day. So it's been.
So now, are you talking about in the pre-market though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the 8 a.m. candle.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what were we looking at here. How about MU? So if you look at MU, pre-market.
Let's take a look at that 8 a.m. candle.
You can see here's.
So you talk what kind of
8
time frame are you talking about?
Oh, well, 1 or 5 minute chart. Doesn't really matter.
Okay, so you're on a 2-minute chart there now. Okay, so we look because it'll depend. That'll affect the size of the candle too, right? If 1 minute or 5 minutes.
True, but normally it's that 8 a.m. candle right at 8 a.m. Even if you do a 1 minute chart, it'll be the biggest candle, and everything else is just tiny little things. And you seem to get often. Look at this candle. I'll just blow it up here on my screen. You get a candle with giant wicks, top and bottom. So if you put a marker on the top and bottom, you'll notice that it's hard to see in my chart because it's a yellow line, but it provides support and resistance throughout the day, that the top level and the bottom level. It's quite interesting. If you do it across a ton of stocks, we've been testing it. It's fairly new, but we've been testing it the last few days, and it works a surprisingly high percentage of the time. So
interesting.
So just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's always good to test new theories, right? Because you never know. Sometimes
that is that's well, and I'm always looking for tradable patterns. That's came up with the rising devil trade. See, notice that the stocks at the open would, if they were gapping down and weak into the open, would pop up to the VWAP and then sell off. Also, there's that other pattern that I like to trade, which is a gapping down stock that trades going into the market open, trades above the VWAP. Notice that those actually are end up being strong and moving higher, as opposed to selling off more into the market regular trading hours. So
Right.
yeah, always looking for those repeatable patterns, and that would be something that's something you could look at as well and put in your toolbox.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the time for the X-Files music, right? If you're playing it. So Nagraj, it's fairly straightforward. Again, pick any stock. Here, I'll pick AMD this time. Really, if you just look at 8 a.m., so before the market open, you often will see a candle that's got a small body and big wicks. Draw lines, sort of parallel lines at the low of the wick and the high of the wick. So here, right at 8 a.m., you can see on AMD, the low was 53.62 and the high was 53.79, so not a huge range. But if you follow it forward, for today AMD was fairly weak, so it fell below the line. But I don't know if you can see the line well on my chart, but look what it did at the open, right? Even pre-market, it came up, came right to that level pre-market. At the open, it was at that line and then dropped from there. So you can use these lines as potential, give you maybe some confidence in support of other patterns you may be looking at. So I said we've been testing it. It doesn't always work because sometimes you just don't get a big range, and we're not quite sure what causes that candle. I do believe it's sort of a pre-day settlement. A lot of the big market makers in that, they've got to settle out orders from the previous day, which is why you get these candles. Obviously, in a big trending market, it tends to work less because then the price will move out of the range. But when you get something that's range bound, you can use that to help understand the range. It's been working well so far in the last 4 or 5 days that Thor's been talking about it. So again, don't take it as gospel. Just take it as something to consider as part of your trading patterns.
Yeah, take it as a tool in your toolbox.
And Dan on YouTube, yes, I do. I am long WMG. I've got some rules, which I'll admit that I sort of broke a little bit. Only that I went in early, but WMG to me, so it's an IPO. I've got IPO rules. WMG, it's on its first day of trading, but to me it was an unusual IPO because it's not often you get an IPO of such a well-established company. This is Warner Music Group, and they've been around for, I don't know how long Warner's been around, 100 years? Maybe not that long. 60, 70 years? Anyways, but such a well-established company to go IPO is fairly unusual. So I took a risk, took a long, pretty much right off of the opening candle at 27.30, and I'm still holding some here because we're sitting around the $30 mark. So I've got so much room. There's no point. I said I've only got 50 shares or so left, so not a big size anymore because I've partialed out. But we'll see what happens. 16 minutes left here. Got some opportunity to take advantage of that.
Let's take advantage.
CCL shooting up here. MU. I do wish I traded MU again. I could have traded the same pattern I traded last time. Once again. Missed that opportunity.
Roku. Karen, maybe you saw a double bottom. Yeah, well, there was that funky little candle that happened at 1522, and we came right back down to that 104 level where it bottomed on that second run. So the only concern I have about Roku is I think it just looks weak, and it just looks like it's going to continue to be weak. And I'm not really sure. Netflix is down, so obviously I think at least some of the COVID trades are starting turn south. Zoom being the exclusion in that one.
Yeah, Zoom is
But if
still
people,
up there.
it's summer, people are going out, less streaming, that kind of stuff. So maybe that's the that's the idea as to why these are selling off. Wow, Boeing really made a move today,
Oh
13%.
yeah, Boeing's been running. It's been monstrous. We didn't mention a pre-market, Brian, but Goose reported today. Canada Goose.
Oh,
It's one of
okay.
your
Oh, it's
used to
up a
be one
lot.
of your favorites, and it's up.
Canada
It's up
Goose.
up
Yeah, I noticed that.
18%.
What did they say in their earnings? I didn't even
They
notice they were.
yeah, they actually beat on revenue, but just met their earnings per share. So yeah, they're up good 18% today. I found them tough to trade, so I didn't really follow them, but I just saw it on my list here. Thought I'd mention it to you.
Yeah, interesting. There's a lot of good movers today. I traded MU at one point. I traded Lyft. I traded Donkey Kong.
DKNG. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny
that's
how we
right.
all make, yeah, I do the same thing. You make words or sounds out of
Donkey.
symbols, chart symbols sometimes, right?
Donkey. Yeah, it every time I look at that symbol, it makes me think of Donkey Kong. I don't know why.
I get that.
Mike. Mike's on the road, heading to Portland, home of the food trucks.
I've only been to Portland once. I was doing some contract work for Nike, and spent some time in Portland. Beaverton specifically is where their headquarters is. I think
Hmm.
Beaverton is just a suburb of Portland, if I recall. But it
Okay, yeah.
was a neat city.
Beaverton is a suburb. I've spent a bit of time in Portland over the course of my corporate career. I like it there. I actually visited Intel, which is out to the west of the city, and that Intel industrial complex is literally a city in its own.
Yeah.
When parking lot surrounds it, and there's actually the parking lot's so big that they actually have buses that travel around and take people to the buildings where people worked. It was amazing.
It's like Disney.
Out of cake. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, cake. Yeah, they were making. They make semiconductors, I believe, there. Cake. Yeah, so Cake actually had a pretty good day with the Cheesecake Factory. Now, is this did they report as well?
No, I don't. People were mentioning cake earlier. I don't know if there was news. I didn't see any. Let me just see here. I mean, but yeah, I was trying to figure out why they were up 20% at one point today. Anybody in the room know? They're planning to reopen some locations. Okay,
Okay.
but so is
Wasn't
everybody.
Cake was the one that said they weren't going to pay their rent. Wasn't
Exactly.
that Cake?
Yep.
Yeah.
So then maybe they're still not, for all I know. It's
Well, I'm sure they're not. If they're all closed, why? Where are they? I'm sure they're not rolling in dough.
Microsoft shooting up here.
You're not trying to trade that one today?
Nope. Nope. I'm staying away from it. I made that mistake yesterday. I'm not doing it again. So, end of an era.
APY end of an era. APY is busting out here. Kind of interesting. I don't know what this APY stock is all about.
Apergy Corporation. Yeah, I don't know. 10 minutes left in the markets today. Doesn't look like I'll be taking another trade. My MU is coming back up here. AMD. Still in WMG. Still just hanging out here with these shares. I think with only 10 minutes, it's above 30.
See what this APY is.
I'm gonna take some. I said I only have 50 shares. I'll just take 20. What the heck? I'll take 20 here.
I kind of like an APY the way it's setting up for a swing trade. So energy, oil, and gas. Of course, okay. So oil's got upgraded by Citi on the June 1st. Let's just see here. Huh. APY. Let's take a look at the chart. It's kind of breaking out here out of this 10 level. Could be good for a run up to maybe 11.5, 12. Gap fill at 15.
Chris can always count on you for ridiculous insight.
For comic relief.
Comic relief.
And meticulous insight at the same time.
I said ridiculous, but we'll go with meticulous. It's kinder.
Okay.
Diddly doodly. You're liking APY, eh? I see it here.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I might take a bit of a swing trade here. This one.
What's got it moving today? APY.
I don't know. I got an upgrade on the 1st, which was a couple of days ago. And it's just been on a nice ramp up pretty much since into the afternoon here. Liking the way it's kind of breaking out here. Yesterday's high day.
How did it get onto your radar?
I'm not even sure. It's in my list of stocks I had on watch. I think it must have been in the gappers list.
Okay.
Although it doesn't look like it gapped up.
No.
I don't know. Let's see.
It would have been a gap down.
You would have thought.
Yeah, it could have been a gap or down. 40 cents, $10. That'd be 4%.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Could have gapped it.
Likely that's what it was then.
Yeah.
Definitely had the volume, and it would have been down 4%. So. Kit, yes, both lines. Whoops. Sorry, didn't mean to yell at you.
Now, remember yesterday, the Benzinga guy was talking about some options trades. Just from yesterday, I remember he talked about Smile Direct Club, some big options buying at 850 for the end of the week, which already they're in the money here now. And there was another one, a June expiry for Etsy, and I think it was an 8250 call sweep. So Etsy's down a bit today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time left on that. There's a lot of time left on that trade because that was probably a June 19th expiry.
One thing for note, Brian, before you joined, SPCE, it's actually not up right now, but they announced a private investment firm, I forget the name, that was willing to buy a significant number of shares up to a price of $20, but they didn't release the number of shares. You can see when that announcement came out, because right before 3 o'clock, the stock popped up, held the
I see that, yeah.
1670 level, pulled back. So it hasn't gone shooting up from there, but that was an interesting announcement.
Interesting move. Well, it was kind of it was actually, if you look at the daily kind of does look interesting. Did put in a double bottom today. So we kind of had a couple of down days here. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we how low did we go? We got down to 1520 today, and we've come back up. So could be a bit of a reversal trade on space.
Muppets
Yeah,
in space. It's going back.
Yeah.
Lost on space. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's moving. I really regret not getting back into MU. However, it's over
There you
and done
go.
with.
That's your regret trade for the day.
Oh, there's always at least
Or
one. Well,
you,
actually, I had another one earlier because I traded WSC with Andrew, but I got stopped out. Somehow Andrew stayed in and he made money off of it, and it really set me off. It was like annoying me all morning. So it's always problematic when you just make it's a sort of an unforced error and then have to deal with it for the rest of the trading day. I find it takes me a while to reset myself. MGM.
so
MGM finally moved.
I love looking at the I always see who what the people at Robinhood are holding on to. They have that page that show you.
Yeah, that was an
Uh,
interesting page. My cousin sent that one to me, and he says he uses it, and he trades currencies, right, for one of the major banks. So he's their head currency trader for a couple of their currency pairs, and
mm,
yeah, it was this one here, right? This Robin track. Is that the one you're looking at that I had sent? So,
yeah, I think so.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so you can see the top things that Robinhood traders are trading right now. GNUS,
Tracker. Yeah.
LTM, MGM. MGM, that's surprising. Look at that. Neo. Huh.
The leaderboard. Let's see what the
Popularity changes.
wow. Ford.
Yeah, Ford and GE at the top of that list. Those are not
Yeah, it's
exciting stocks to trade.
I wouldn't think so. And Disney, of course, and then you got two airlines, AAL and DAL. GoPro. It's kind of surprising.
Huh. Anyways.
Okay. Okay. Well, always interesting to see what the amateurs hour is trading. So
Opposed to us
Lyft
trained
just
professionals.
yeah. Let's
Yeah, I can easily give you that link. I'd shared it before. Let me just pull it over here.
well, there's nothing wrong with being part of the crowd. Just don't be the last in.
Yeah, it's like they say, if you're at the poker table and you're not sure who the sucker is, it's you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Lyft is they're really selling that, or at least they're leaning into it a little bit into the close here.
Yeah, MGM is dropping.
Square. Yeah, everything's dropping a little bit here as we go into the close.
Except for Zoom. Zoom refuses to be put down.
Zoom, it's going to probably live to fight another day, is what I'm guessing. 30 seconds. Spy is pretty much trying to hang on to most of the gains here.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it will. It's not going anywhere in the last couple of seconds here.
Yeah, and work looks like it was strong. Interesting.
There we go. That's it for the
here we
day.
go.
All my screens come to a screeching halt as the big action stops. I'll put up here CLDR, and I don't expect Fossil to do much, but we'll see what they do. Keep an eye on these two today. See if they move. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Ethereum. Sorry, I gotta say that right.
Okay, what's the Qs? What are the Qs doing? The Qs. Well, they sold off into the close here. Not really surprising. Bit of profit taking right at the end of the day. Yeah,
Bitcoin.
work was work. Yeah, and they've got their earnings tomorrow. So I'm thinking, my thought is people are sort of transposing or thinking about what happened with Zoom and thinking about how that's going to translate into work and how that's going to pan out.
Canadian dollar has been strengthening over the last few days, Brian.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that, but yeah, it's moved about what, 4 cents, 5 cents.
Yeah, it's down to 134.5.
Well, the Canadian dollar, obviously is something. Yeah, sympathy move, Chris. Yeah, Canadian dollar is a bit of a proxy on oil, right or wrong. Canada's considered an economy strongly based on oil and price of oil. So with the price of oil going up, the Canadian dollar is strengthening. We have a lot of oil.
Fossil, just looking at Bitcoin here,
Yes.
seeing what they're doing. It's gone up a little bit the last few days, but no huge moves in Bitcoin. Fossil's released their numbers now. Fossil Group, they missed on earnings per share, slightly beat on revenue. That's surprising. But you can see their price now here dropping in the post market.
Ooh.
This is a stock that, it's been really beaten down, right? It used to be like 10, I think of it as a $10 stock, but I just looked at it, realized it's only worth $3 now, so. Anyways, so.
So it was up on the day, but it looks like it's pulled back to, it's right down at the previous day high at this point.
There's a news article here, Brian, that Amazon is going to lease some new converted cargo aircraft, increasing their fleet. So they've got a dedicated fleet of 767-300. Those are those big, those big carriers. How many planes do you think Amazon owns?
Probably, what, couple dozen? 2 dozen?
80.
Oh, okay.
80. They own 80 planes. That's more than some large carriers.
I'm sure. Yeah, they're moving a lot of goods around.
Okay.
And I know, and they were talking about, I'm sure people heard about this, they were talking about doing a some kind of a sale thing.
Right.
Some fashion sale they were talking. So just what the Main Street retailers wanted to hear. Sure.
Yeah, it's 80. That just seems like a lot of planes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, there you go. It's about as many planes as Spirit Airlines.
Interesting.
And Spirit Airlines planes are a lot smaller. But anyways.
All right. Well. Okay. Well, it's going to call it a day, and it was a good one. I hope everybody else had a good day.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Well, Chris, everybody in the room, Andrea, Jennifer, and Miles, Chris, guys, thanks. Thanks, Mike, on the road. Love that you joined us there.
Indeed.
Cheers, everybody. Peter, have a great rest of the day. I know your supper's approaching. My lunch is. I'm thinking about lunch now, so I'm back on the West Coast. So everybody have a good one, and we will see you in the morning. Are you doing? I guess we're still not sure what Norm's internet status is.
Yeah, at this point
No,
he's still out of service, so I'll be doing the morning
yeah,
show as well with Carlos. So, all good
good
there.
deal.
Still waiting. I just want to see
All right.
CLDR's numbers. See you later, Brian. Thanks so much for joining us here.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, guys. Ciao for now, everybody. Good evening,
Later.
good afternoon, wherever you are.
It's like a Walter Cronkite sign off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So I want to see CLDR. I haven't seen their numbers. Anybody seen their numbers yet? Am I just missing them? I don't see them out there yet. $4.10. All right, so we got a couple of minutes. Yeah, look at Google. Somebody's saying to look at Google. I had Google on my list just to see what was going to happen today. Not much did. They're in the news because there was a $5 billion class action suit because of activity tracking while in private mode. Apparently, when you're in private mode on their browser, they still track your activity, which this class action claims is a breach of privacy. I don't know how much traction they'll get with that, but they're going to give it a shot. And yeah, Mike actually is bringing up a good point, guys. Let's not forget that we have stuff going on here today. So what is today? Today is the 3rd of June. Yeah, it's the 3rd. We got a presentation today, Mike? What do we got? It's Wednesday. Carlos, why is it not on my list? Why is it not on my list? Ah, yes. For some reason, that is not on my list. But here, if we look at our website, it's we can bring it up here. 3 hours, 51 minutes. Carlos will be talking about getting over a losing streak. I do remember talking about that before. So it's at 8 o'clock today. It's in our webinar room for lifetime members. So hopefully all your lifetime members will be able to join us. That should be a good one. Look forward to hearing that. Carlos has talked about this before. It's a good presentation. I'm going to be attending just to support him. And it's always good to get a reminder too, even if you're not in a losing streak. This is the best time because when you are, you usually don't want the advice. So it's better to get it, absorb it, and then you might be in a better position to apply it when you need it. So that will be the presentation for this evening. And I will remind everybody, don't be shy about going out and finding our podcasts. We had a new podcast released just yesterday. Very happy about these podcasts. I love recording them. They're a lot of fun. Yesterday's was a great conversation I had with Dr. Jonathan Katz. We sort of talked about stress in the environment, how to manage it, and people's motivations for trading and how you manage your motivations on a day-to-day basis. So something to take a look at or listen to, really, as a podcast. Just go to your favorite podcast provider, and you can find it there. And don't forget, guys, if you're on YouTube and you want to join us, we have discount codes. I'll put them up on the screen so you can take a look at them. Hopefully, it'll be useful to you. You can use the it says pre-market 24. Should change that because we have our own, but you can use pre-market 24 anyways. And get a discount, or you can join us full time for 40% off the discounted price. So All right, guys, with that, we're done on announcements. I see CLDR is dropping. That tells me that their numbers probably are out. Here it is. Let's see. Well, looks like they beat. They beat top and bottom line, CLDR. And for the next quarter, they increased their estimates. So it all looks good. The only thing I see is that their earnings estimate for the year, they actually decreased their total sales estimate for the year, which may be bringing people down a little bit. But I wouldn't expect after the rest of the news that would have such an impact. We might be worth keeping an eye. We'll see if CLDR hits our list tomorrow morning to watch, because that could be in play. So we'll see what happens. All right, another interesting day. So thank you everybody for joining us, and everybody out there in YouTube. We'll be signing off YouTube now. I'll still be in the room for another couple of minutes, so take care, and hopefully we'll see you back here tomorrow or on the pre-market show with myself and Carlos at 8:30. We go live.